So welcome back guys to another video, and I thought for this video I would finally talk about my first impressions and a little review of Star Wars Episode 7. Now the reason why I waited until Monday, I wanted to wait until after the weekend release because the biggest thing on social media right now is a lot of people have not been wanting to be spoiled. I mean, I've seen friendships get ruined over this weekend, over this movie, and I can understand it to some degree, but I want to talk about some of my thoughts about this movie, the things that I liked about it, some of the things I didn't like about it, talk about my predictions of Episode 8. Now, the stuff I liked about it, overall, I thought it was a very good movie. It was the movie that Star Wars fans have been waiting for. And it was, if you weren't a huge fan of the prequels, if you were kind of reluctant and you were just kind of like, I'm kind of done with Star Wars, this is a cash cow now, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. You need to go see this movie. The new characters, I was actually kind of nervous about. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, man, this could either make or break the movie. But the new characters were so natural, meshing with the old cast, that it just felt natural. It was so nice. I thought Rey, the street smart orphan from Jakku, I thought she played the role so well. She really stole the show, and she wasn't as naive as Luke. She had some experience coming with her, and I thought it was great. Finn, I was a huge fan of Finn. I didn't think I was going to like him as much, but he was actually really, really cool. Because, he was a part of the New Order, which is like the new, Galactic Empire kind of threat to the galaxy. He was a part of the New Order, and you could tell that he didn't agree with the way they were doing things, and he was just trying to run away from it. He just wanted to get away from it all. But you could tell by the new friendships that he was developing, it gave him something to fight for. And, starting off very cowardly, and then towards the end of the movie, he definitely grew some balls, and I was like, man, Finn is freaking awesome. Poe didn't really have a whole lot in this movie, but I think the more we see of him, the more we're going to like him even more, because from the limited screenplay that he had in it was still really, really good. I could see him being the next generation version of Han Solo, if that makes any sense. Those are some big shoes to fill, but I could see him having that persona and that sort of look about him. BB-8, oh my gosh, when I watched this movie, by the time the movie was over, I was like, I want my own personal BB-8. He really was a lot of fun. He kind of replaced R2-D2 in this movie and C-3PO. C-3PO had a very small cameo in it, and so did R2-D2, but I didn't feel any of those moments when I saw BB-8 that I was just like, man, I really wish R2-D2 was back in this, or I really miss C-3PO. It was great the way he did it. It was so much fun. He made me laugh so much, and he had so much emotion too. Like when he was sad, but oh man. Now, some of the things I didn't like about Episode 7, I thought, and this is when the spoilers are going to come in, they introduced Kylo Ren in the very beginning of the movie, and they went ahead and let off his backstory from like the first 5 minutes of the movie, that he was Han and Leia's son. And you find out that they're looking for Luke. The reason why they're looking for Luke is because he was actually training Kylo Ren in the new Jedi Academy. The Academy got destroyed by the New Order, and he was captured. Luke felt like he was responsible for it and put himself in exile. And they kind of let you know that like right off the bat. And I really wish they would have kind of built on that a little bit more, because one of the biggest things happened in this movie. The death of Han Solo. Han Solo was killed by Kylo Ren, by his son. So I thought, it would have been more emotional, even though that scene was very emotional and it was done very well. I wasn't pissed. I was really sad, but at the same time, in a weird, morbid, symbolic way, it felt like the passing of the torch. I really wish in that scene, that's when you found out that was his son. When he took the helmet off, and because I remember Han Solo was like, you can take your helmet off, and Kylo Ren was like, what, are you scared of what you'll see? And he's like, I'm going to see the face of my son. That would have been the one moment that he would have been like, oh my god. But they didn't do that. It was the beginning of the movie. You're like, hey, that's Han Solo and Princess Leia's son right there, Kylo Ren, part of the New Order. That was one of the things I didn't like about it. You know, a lot of people complained about the Supreme Leader Snoke. Some people didn't really like the way he looked, the CGI. He looked very Gollum-ish, which I think a lot of people are saying that's because, you know, it's voiced by Andy Serkis. And, you know, he had the balding and decrepit look about him. And I remember when I first saw him, you know, because he's a hologram, so he's huge. He's in this you know, throne, and he's like ginormous. When I first saw him, I was like, "Don't tell me he's that big." And then he faded away. And a lot of people were complaining about the detail of him, but you gotta take in consideration it was a hologram. I think that when we actually see him, it's gonna have a lot more detail and it's gonna look a lot better. So I'm actually looking forward to the backstory of Snoke as well. I know there's going to be some juicy details with that. And of course, the Star Destroyer scene was a copy and paste version of the Death Star. That's all it was. It was like, you would have thought there was a little bit more to it, but it was pretty much, let's find a weak spot, and then it was over with. But of course, it was a great lightsaber battle in between with Rey and Kylo Ren. That was just absolutely epic. I thought the fighting, the choreographed, you know, lightsaber fight was just so awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kylo Ren has to offer now that he killed his dad, and he's still battling the dark side and the light side. He wants to follow the steps of his grandfather, Darth Vader, but at the same time, there's something about it that he knows deep down it's wrong. So I'm really wondering what's going to go on with that, and it made me look forward to Episode 8. And you know how I know this was a good movie? Was because at the very end, when Rey, who is now getting trained by Luke Skywalker, when she found Luke in exile, and that was the end of the movie. That was like a 5-minute scene. You could hear everyone go, "Oh." That's a sign of a good saga. When people want more, people were not satisfied to that degree. They were walking out very happy, but they were still like, man, I really wish I could have seen more of that. And that's the way to do it. That's the way to do a trilogy. So my predictions for Episode 8, of course, we're going to see more Luke Skywalker. I think he's going to have a Ben Kenobi moment where he's going to sacrifice himself for Rey. Rey's going to become a lot more powerful with her Force powers, and I think, because it was very much hinted, that Rey is going to be the daughter of Luke Skywalker. I think that's going to be, because, I mean, in that movie, they keep talking about, oh, this girl, blah, 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 and the visions she sees when, you know, her parents supposedly left the desert and stuff like that. I think it's going to all boil down to Luke Skywalker and her are a lot closer than the show's really trying to show you at first. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to more Snoke. Maybe he's Darth Plagueis. I know that theory is still floating around, and when I saw him and I saw he wasn't a Mun, the race of Darth Plagueis, I was like, oh man. But at the same time, you never know, because he can manipulate the Force. Maybe he got into a new body, and maybe that's why it was decayed and decrepit, because it wasn't accepting him. I mean, there's so much I can go into it, and I think that would be a great way for Darth Plagueis to be the main bad guy. It'd be a great way to tie in the whole Skywalker saga, because after this, I could see more Star Wars movies in the future with more generations and stuff like that. And if it keeps going the way it's going to be very, very good. I was very, very happy. I want to close and say this real quick, guys. If you guys have seen it, go see it twice. I think the more you see it, I think the more you'll appreciate it. You know, there's not a whole lot of movies that you can say that to, but I can definitely see the more you see it, the more you're going to love it. And I already love it. It was such a great movie. J.J. Abrams and Disney did a fantastic job. But anyway, guys, leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about Star Wars Episode 7. I'd love to hear from you if you guys have some theories. Also, leave a comment below as well. I'd love to hear your predictions of Star Wars Episode 8. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And as always, happy gaming. Can't get enough of Excess Gaming Podcast? Be sure to check out our audio podcast on Podomatic.com. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes. And if you have a YouTube channel or podcast you'd like to share, be sure to check us out on Facebook on our group page and join the community. As always, guys, thank you so much for all the support and happy gaming.